So many of you have been asking me, Savannah, are you going to see Better Man? Yes, damn it, I saw it. Now let's talk about it. So it's another Mystery Movie Monday, and today's mystery movie was Better Man. Honestly, it wasn't really that much of a mystery. There aren't too many rated R movies that are approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes that don't have a wide release. And will have a wide release within the next 2-3 weeks. This is it. The one-sided beef on social media the last, 2, almost 3 weeks. Why don't Americans know who Robbie Williams is? I'm kind of sort of proud to say that I'm one of the few Americans apparently who knew of Robbie Williams prior to this movie coming out. Did I know any of his songs? No. Could I pick him out in a lineup? By process of pop star elimination, eventually, but not really. There was this one girl in middle school, I think her name was Sarah. She was, I don't want to say weird, but she was like goth, alternative, super obsessed with Savage Garden, and loved Robbie Williams. I just remember her being like, oh my God, I love Robbie Williams. And we're like, who is Robbie Williams? She's like, you don't know who Robbie Williams is? We're like, no, Limp Bizkit. Like, what do you mean? And then she showed us his picture in a magazine. And I think he was supposed to be naked. The illusion of nakedness. That's what I remember of Robbie Williams. And this discourse right now between Brits and Americans, where Brits are offended that Americans don't know who Robbie Williams is, and Americans are reminding the rest of the world, we don't care what you think about us. It's funny because this movie starts off asking that question, who is Robbie Williams? So this is the Robbie Williams biopic, Better Man, directed by Michael Gracie, the same dude who directed The Greatest Showman. Stars Robbie Williams, he is our narrator, and then we have John O'Davis, who is Robbie Williams in chimpanzee form. It's motion capture. Think Gollum, Caesar from Planet of the Apes. Motion capture acting is so undervalued, underappreciated, underrepresented, especially in terms of awards, because we're in award season right now. And my personal opinion, after having watched this movie, if it were a just world, John O'Davis, who is our CGI'd motion capture monkey here, he would be in the running for Best Lead Actor. That was one hell of a performance. That was one hell of a movie. My God. I don't know what I was expecting. Actually, yes, I do. I was expecting that to be dumb. I was expecting that to be incredibly stupid and juvenile. But that was beautiful and touching and so much fun, beautifully edited. There is one scene, it's after they score a record deal when he's in Take That. He was in a boy band at one point, and they come out and it's they're so happy, and it turns into this music video, and it plays as one long continuous shot. And the editing, it's very subtle, very, very simple. It's one of those things you'd have to pause it just right just to see the cut. Beautifully done, and it's such a beautiful, it's just beautiful. It's very smooth, crisp editing. Very music video, but in narrative form. It weaves into the narrative very well. This was part musical, part regular biopic, about a man who was chasing after the right things in the wrong way. Think of that song My Way by Frank Sinatra. That song is kind of a theme within this movie. We have young Robbie, who is just wanting to be worth something, wanting to be somebody, wanting to, make a mark in the world or whatever. So he's chasing after fame instead of, riding the wave of his own talents and creativity, if you will. Also dealing with unresolved daddy issues, a father who wasn't there for him, who abandoned him at a young age and then popped back up into his life when he suddenly became famous. We're talking mental illness, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, all the quintessential pop downfalls, right? But this is some, very honest storytelling. It's very raw and vulnerable, which is in contrast to this up-and-coming young man who is afraid to really bare himself. Uses the metaphor in the movie, getting naked on the first date. I thought that was so clever. There's so much talk nowadays of people living authentically and living as their true selves. This is what that's supposed to look like. This is the greatest expression of those cliche phrases that I've ever seen. Truth be told, this is probably the best biopic of 2024. Why this isn't getting more recognition is beyond me. I don't understand that part. It's kind of criminal, because that was excellent. So for those of you who are wondering, is this worth my time? Is it worth a ticket? Yeah. In my understanding, the choice of, turning Robbie Williams into a chimpanzee was to set it apart from the typical biopic. But honestly, I think that was just very wise and very smart on their part, because again, we're oversaturated with the biopic right now. There's just so many out there. And we don't know who this man is. And the way this movie plays, like, we should know who he is, but we don't know who he is. And I think making him a chimpanzee in a way makes him a little more relatable. I don't know how to explain that. You kind of have to see it for yourself. But I think taking his face away from it and all we really see is the kind of emotion and the rawness and the vulnerability removes that question mark from our minds, and we're able to just see a person. And by the end of this, we know who he is. He is familiar. He's not just, a familiar face, but he's a familiar human, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I like that. That was good. I cried.